Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Are we still doing that? I don't know. Hope everyone's doing really, really good. It's me, Sam, from Three-Legged Tacos. You might know me from other videos of me from Three-Legged Tacos. We're doing another cook from the kitchen at home, quarantine cook. And today I figured we'd make some chilaquiles. Good recipe to get rid of a bunch of stuff that you have lying around in your fridge and in your pantry. It's traditionally made for that specific purpose, to get rid of your old stuff. So let's take a look. Two components to this dish. The first is if you're doing the salsa. If you're doing a Salsa Verde, then you're gonna need the stuff that I'm gonna show you. If you're doing a Salsa Roja, you can do it differently. If you're making a red salsa, check out, here. If you're doing a red salsa, you want something simple, check out the last video we posted live from the restaurant. There's this quick and easy recipe in there for like a salsa hot sauce hybrid that uses very few ingredients and is really good. So since we're making our chilaquiles or our salsa verde using just stuff we have lying around, I'm gonna go ahead and use the tomatillos that I got from Imperfect Produce, an onion, maybe an onion and a half, cilantro, green onion, cheese. So you can use, traditionally you would use queso fresco, something that's kind of crumbly. I don't have any around. You can use feta too if you have feta. I have some queso cincho. This is like a really tangy, sharp aged sheep's cheese. Some garlic, like 3 cloves of garlic. A dozen or so corn tortillas. Don't try to use flour, it's not gonna work. Some dried chilies. I have some chilis pasilla, a couple limes, and a couple eggs. Okay. Let's move on. So, let's make some salsa verde. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these, the tomatillos, and I'm gonna take this garlic and half of an onion. White onion will do, yellow onion, whatever you got laying around. So I'm gonna take this stuff and I'm gonna get a cast iron skillet really, really hot, and I'm just gonna char all of this on both sides in some vegetable oil. So guys, while we're waiting for the cast iron skillet to heat up, I'm gonna heat up a small pan as well. I just tossed a good amount of vegetable oil in this guy for the tomatillos. I'm also gonna just put a smidge in this guy. Dried chilies here. When this starts to look like it's getting going, I'm just gonna kind of toss them in there. Now the thing with toasting chilies is you want to cook them. If you're using oil, you get a little bit more leniency out of them. But if you're not, you want to be really careful that you don't burn these suckers, because if you do, you get a really bad, acrid kind of bitter taste. You want to make sure you move them around. This guy seems like it's getting hot enough that we can toss our veg in. When you're doing these chilies, you start to see a change in color there. You see little marks where they're starting to not burn, but just toast up a bit. They'll start to inflate. Use that to your advantage so that you can flip them. And you see there, it's kind of getting there, but they're not quite ready yet. I'm going to wait to throw the garlic and onion in until the first side of these tomatillos is done. These can also probably come off. A really nice color on there. That's just the seeds burning, don't worry about that. And this adds some nice heat over here. Why not, right? So guys, I went ahead and moved this over here. As you can see, I put a splash guard over our pan here because I don't want to have to clean up my counters afterwards. It may look like the heat is on too hot, like we're frying these guys. That's kind of the point. We want to blacken them. We want to add a little extra flavor. So I'll chop my half an onion up. I got my garlic in there. I'm gonna toss those in there for a bit too, just a minute here. Hit all these guys with a little kosher salt. Salt as you go. So guys, I just shut down the heat over there, but I'm gonna let those kind of sit for a minute. I got my chilies over here. I'm gonna grab just a bowl or a plate. I'm gonna get the stems off these guys. Seeds out if I can. These over here, break them up a little bit. They're going in the blender, but still. A smart man would have done this before he cooked the chilies or toasted them, but that I am not. I just took this off. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting this into the quiz. So just start spooning these guys in. Now this is important. Make sure you save this oil because we're gonna need it in a minute. So now we're gonna go ahead and add these chilies as well. However way that works for you. I'm gonna go ahead and give a rough chop to the cilantro, and you know what? I like a cilantro-y salsa, so I'm gonna just throw the rest of it in there. Also, I think it's about to be expired. I'm gonna get, I don't know, maybe half of that kosher salt in there. You know, we're salting as we go, so I'm gonna chop both of these limes. I'm gonna juice them right into there. I'll pop the top, get that sucker on there, let it blend. You know, if you want to get a little crazy, you could add like a pinch of tequila or mezcal. You know, actually, not too much. All right, let's check this puppy out. Oh, that's awesome. I know it doesn't look like a salsa verde, but it tastes like one. With a little added complexity of the toasted chiles pasilla. Yeah, no, it's super good. The only thing I might say, you might get away with adding a little bit of, no, you know what, doesn't need anything. All right guys, so with that done, what I went ahead and did is I kept the oil from the cast iron skillet. I added a little bit more, and this is where our tortillas come in. So you're gonna want about a dozen, depending on how many you're feeding. Corn tortillas, make sure they're corn, don't use flour. And you're gonna want to, if you can, plan ahead, you want them to be dry. So my advice is take the tortillas that you want to use, leave them on the countertop overnight. And that way they'll lose all their moisture. They're gonna curl up and everything, but don't worry about it, you'll be able to figure it out. Gonna wanna just simply, you can do it the easy way, cut them into quarters, make sure they're separated. And what we're gonna wanna do is walk over to our oil. So over here, guys, what we're gonna wanna do is just start cooking these in batches. We don't want to make chips out of them necessarily, but we want to get them to almost chips. So I'm going to do these in 2 batches. They can be crowded a bit as long as they're all getting oil and they're not clumping together. And you know, this is supposed to be like a brunch dish. It's this fun dish. You know, don't lose your mind if they start looking like it's one big chip. As you can see, these are starting to crisp up. You can see the crisp, you can hear the crisp, and some of them have crumbled up. It's not a big deal. It's part of Chilaquiles, it's part of the game. All right, these are about perfect. So I'm gonna shake these off. Once you start getting that crispy kind of sound off of them, it's time to pull them. Almost chips. And now let's do our second batch. All right, fam. I think we're ready to pull these too. So we'll keep this on at about a 5 out of 10 on the heat scale, because we're gonna need to use it in just a second. So there's a super cool concept in Mexican cuisine called frying the sauce, and the concept is basically exactly how it sounds. You're gonna put your sauce into that oil. Let it kind of cook up. I'm gonna move it around a lot. I'm not gonna let it burn. I'm not gonna let it stick. You know what? I'm just gonna add the rest of that. Real saucy like. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so let's reduce that down to about a 5. And then, you guessed it, we're gonna add our tortillas back in. All right, so once that's all together, toss this guy, incorporate the sauce. Now you're gonna wanna reduce your heat. All the chips are soaked in that salsa. Reduce your heat down to about a 3. Get it all nice and even. So we'll continue to cook evenly. And then we're gonna cook up some eggs. All right, guys, bang your pot in there. Whatever you want to use to cook your eggs. I like olive oil. I'm gonna toss a little bit in there. A little bit more. There we go. Let that start to get together. Gonna bother our chilaquiles just a little bit. A little bit of crunch on the edges is fine. You don't want to cook these tortillas too long because they get mushy. All right, we're gonna go ahead and crack in our first egg. Crack in our second egg. And go ahead and turn the heat off on the chilaquiles now. Salt our egg a little bit, pepper our egg. That's what I like. All right, guys, eggs are looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off. I like a runny yolk myself. Hey, what's that look like? All right, so grab a bowl here. Myself a nice portion on my plate. About like that. So, we're gonna start plating this guy up. Put the chilaquiles in there. Remember our onions. Toss some onions on with them as well. Some rings or strips. This isn't fancy. Do whatever you're gonna do. Toss some of our cheese on there. Good amount of cheese. And go ahead and toss our egg on there. And We got our green onion too, a little bit of garnish. Chilaquiles. All right, guys, moment of truth. As far as garnish goes, oh, this bowl's broken. Damn. As far as garnish goes, I used green onions because I was out of cilantro, but use whatever you want. Green onions will do fine. The white onions are a must. The cheese is a must. Hit it with your favorite salsa. Do whatever you want. It looks awesome. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, that's a winner. Well, anyways, you guys get the point. This was really good. It's refreshing. Tastes super fresh. Just, you know, what was it? 7 ingredients. Super easy to make. And customize it. Like I said, do whatever you want with it. Use a red salsa. Just don't use pico de gallo because that'd be gross. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Join us again soon. We're doing another live video this Saturday from the restaurant. If you have any questions about the recipe, equipment that you need, substitutions, stuff like that, just reach out either in the comment section or reach out to us on Instagram, and we'd love to chat with you. So thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you on Flip Flop. Later.